Ooh, that dude's voice.
You're supposed to, yeah, with them Temptations, you gotta got one voice that's really deep.
What?
In the Temptations, you gotta have one voice that's really deep to sing that song.
Meet the Mets. Step right up and bring the Mets. Bring your kiddies, bring your wife. Guaranteed to have the time of your life because the Mets are really something to ball. Knocking those home runs over the wall. East side, west side, everybody's gonna love to meet the NETS Mets of New York.
Welcome to Shea Stadium in New York as we welcome you to an alternate universe New York Met replay as we're back here in 1968 in the What If Project if Jacob Degrom's 2021 Stratomatic card is the 1968 season. Hello everybody, Sports Time Machine will bring you coverage here of the Chicago Cubs visiting the New York Mets on an unbelievable doubleheader afternoon. In the opener will be Jacob Degrom taking on Bill Hands, and in the nightcap, which will not be on the immediate telecast, Tom Seaver is in the backup role. He'll be taking on Ken Holtzman. So an unbelievable weekend here at Shea, where Jacob Degrom and Tom Seaver pitch back belly to belly. Here's your Met defense. Jones in center, AG in center. Jones in left, AG in center, Swoboda in right. Charles at third, Harrelson at short, Boswell at second, Cranepool at first, Grody behind the plate. On the mound is Mr. Jacob Degrom, making his fourth Major League start. He's 3-0, ERA of 2.86. 16 hits, 22 innings, 5 walks, 31 strikeouts. He's given up 3 long balls. Here's your Cub lineup. Phillips leading off, followed by Spangler. Phillips leading off in center, followed by Spangler in right, Williams in left, Banks at first, Santo at third, Beckett at second, Hundley behind the plate, Kessinger at short, and Bill Hands is batting ninth, and he is having a tremendous season as the Cub pitcher. Let's go ahead and go over some statistics here. We'll look at the TWIB notes for today's game between the Mets and Chicago Cubs. So let's come up here so we can look at it. So this is the 1968 not as played season. This is the alternate universe stock season. So the schedule is pretty close to what it was in 1968, with the only difference of Jacob Degrom being put in the New York Met rotation every 5 days. And here is the way the schedule goes. This is May 5th, 1968. The Mets come in 12-7. The Cubs are 13-8, which means the Cubs are in second place, .619 winning percentage, while the Mets are 12-7 in first place, just ahead of them at a .632 percentage. Bill Hands comes in at 3-0, .83 ERA, while Jacob Degrom's 3-0, ERA of 2.86. Dick Selma actually defeated Ferguson Jenkins in the opener, and that was by the score of 3-1. So the Mets have taken advantage. Tommy Agee with the 6-game hitting streak, Jerry Grody with a 5, and Billy Williams has a 9. Who's been hot in this Met Cub games? Ed Charles is hitting .448, 13 hits in his last 10 games. For the Cubs, it's Ron Santo. He's .385, 15 of 39. And has hit a couple home runs. Billy Williams in that hitting streak is hitting .348. And, of course, also hot in this has been Mr. Bill Hands. 2 complete games, only 8 hits over the last 2 games. Only 1 walk, 9 strikeouts, and he's 1-2-0. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you to 1968 and the alternate reverse. That is Jacob Degrom. His 2021 automatic revisit 1968. So leading off for the Chicago Cubs, let's make sure we got his name correct, is going to be Adolfo Phillips. There you go. I never heard of him. Center fielder, he's a 3.9 in center, by the way, so not too bad. So here we go. Jerry Grody behind the plate, Jacob Degrom, and a start here at Shea. Battle of two first-place teams. Here's the pitch from Degrom, and that is a strikeout, and Phillips goes down one away. Here is Spangler hitting 284. 2 home runs, 4 RBIs. He matches his home total of the 68 season. Al Spangler, he is the right fielder today. One away, Grody puts down the sign. DeGrom looks in, and here's the pitch to Spangler. And that is going to be a fly ball to center. AG should come up with it and makes the catch 2 away. So Spangler retired, and now it's going to bring up one of the best hitters in baseball, Billy Williams. Williams hitting 315, 5 home runs, 12 RBIs for a pitcher's league at 1968 was. Billy Williams had a tremendous season, hitting 30 home runs and 98 RBIs. So that's a testament to how good he was that year. Grody sets in the target. DeGrom looks in. Here's the pitch to Billy Williams. And that's a strikeout for Billy Williams. So DeGrom gets 2 and 3 by K. No score. We go to the bottom of the first. So for the Cubs defensively, Williams, Phillips, Spangler, Santo, Kessinger, Beckett, and Banks, while it's Hundley and Bill Sands. 3-0, .83 ERA. He's only given up 21 hits in 33 innings, 3 walks, 19 strikeouts. Let's look at Hands, his first 3 starts, and see if we miss anything. Maybe he's, I don't know. He had a no-hitter for me in my 1972 play that I was playing. Remember. So this is his 5th start of the year. He's had back-to-back complete games. He's given up 8, 5, 3, and 5 hits. He's had back-to-back wins of complete games. So he's really been on a roll. His only non-start was on 4/18. He pitched 6 innings. He got the no decision, but that was his words. He's 8 2/3, 6, 9, and 9. The Met lineup: AG and Leonard, Boswell at second, Jones in left, and Charles in right, Swoboda in right. Charles at third, Boda at right, Grody behind the plate, Kranepool at first, Charles short, Mr. DeGrom batting ninth. So here's AG. He's hitting 217, a double home run, 6 RBIs. We are in the month of May. Hundley sits in the target, and his Bill hands to AG. And AG ground ball to short catcher, throws them out, and there's 1 away. There's Ken Boswell hitting 333. No home runs and 2 RBIs. Had some injury issues, but he's back in the lineup here. He did not have the Mets in there. He kind of solidifies a little bit of a defense. Hundley sets in the target. Bill hands with a wide up pitch. And that's going to be a base hit right field for Kenny Boswell. So run off, staying 1 man out. Here's Cleon Jones hitting 267, 4 home runs, 12 right-handers hitting batter's box, 1 away. Hundley and sets the target in. Hundley looks in from the Hands looks in from the stretch. Hundley looks to keep Boswell close, and here's the pitch. That's going to be a single for Jones. Boswell will stop at second, and second, 1 out. And here's the hottest on the Mets, Eddie Charles. Boy, what a year he's having. 395, 3 doubles, 5 homers, 19 runs batted in, 2 on, 1 out. 1968 alternate universe replay, top 2 teams, National League. Hundley sets in the target and hands from stretch, 2 on, 1 out pitch to Charles, and that is a walk them, and the bases are loaded. So a 5-pitch walk to Charles. The Mets have bases loaded, and here is Ron Swoboda hitting 203, 2 homers, 6 runs batted in. Swoboda, right-handed hitter. Bill Hands in a little bit of a predicament here. Bases loaded, 1 out. Hundley goes out. Talk to Hands, puts down the target. Hands was 16 and 10, 68.88 ERA, 259 innings. These Cubs give you a lot of length in the rotation, unless you knock out early, and Hands has pitched great so far this season. Hundley with the sign, Hands working from the stretch. The pitch to Swoboda, and that's a strikeout for Hands. Boy, did he need that one. Here's the catcher, Jerry Grody, along with Hundley. Game, 2 of the better batteries in base, 69 at bats, 3 doubles, a homer, 3 RBI for Grody, 275 very respectable. Struck out 12 times, bases loaded, and 2 outs. Hundley puts down the sign, hands working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Grody, and Grody struck him out, and Bill Hands gets out of the inning, allowing nothing. No runs, 2 hits, leaves the bases loaded. We played one. No score here from Shea Stadium. So top of the second will now be Ernie Banks. Let's play 2, followed by Ron Sando and Glenn Becker. Ernie Banks, now in his twilight of his career, playing first base, 87 at-bats, 5 doubles, 2 homers, 9 RBI. This is a season Ernie hit 32 bombs, so he still had good power, not about half average, so he only hit 246. But Banks really kind of, no, Banks was a 1R, so he kind of played well against righties or lefties. This was not his left-handed mash season that he had late in his career. So top of the second, no score. Grody sets in the target, and Jacob Degrom looks in the sign. Here's the pitch, and that is a pop to second. Boswell's there, makes the catch, and there's 1 away. Here is Ron Santo, one of the more underrated third basemen in baseball. 80 at-bats, 3 home runs, 8 RBIs, hitting .275. Getting on a lot, has 13 walks, but he struck out 13 times. Grody puts down the sign for him. Degrom from the windup. Here's the pitch to Grody, and that's a strikeout for Degrom. That's 3. So now here's Glenn Becker. He's hitting .375, having won the finer seasons on the Cubs. 88 at-bats, 9 doubles, and 10 RBIs. This was a solid season for Glenn. Hit .294 in the full season. Grody sets in the target. Degrom from the windup. Here's the pitch to Becker. And that's going to be a ground ball back to Degrom. He is a 3-0. As long as he plays it, he gets him. And that is it. So Degrom has retired the first 6 Cubs. No score here at Shea. Here is easy Ed Kranepool hitting .211, 57 at-bats, 2 doubles, 2 homers, 14 runs batted in. So Kranepool, the batter, here on a beautiful Sunday doubleheader afternoon, as Tom Seaver awaits the pitch the nightcap against Ken Holtzman. Now either be on a upload, or we'll do it on another day, because these are 2 tremendous matchups and a great match and a great team versus team matchup in the first second place teams. Bottom of the second, here's Kranepool hitting .211, 2 homers, and 14 ribbies. Hundley sits in the target, hands with the windup. Here's the pitch to Kranepool. And Kranepool popped the first. Banks calls everyone off, makes the play, and there's 1 away. And now here is Bud Harrelson hitting .239, 5 RBIs on the season, light hitting, switch hitting, batting from the left-hand side. Hundley puts down the sign. Bill Hands looks in, gets the windup to pitch to Harrelson, and that's a single to right field. So another hit for Harrelson, 3rd hit, 4th hit for the Mets with 1 out. And now here's Jacob. So we know kind of he has good overall power. Let's see if they swing away at them or they bottom. The Cubs playing on the Banks in on the grass. Let's see, they're going to let Degrom swing away. Here we go, and that's a fly ball left field. Billy Williams is there, makes the catch, and Harrelson has to hold. So here's Tommy Agee. He grounded out his first time up. Bill Hands, runner on first in, 2 outs here in Shea. Hundley puts down the sign, cans with this from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Agee. Agee struck him out, and we play 2, no score. Let's go to the 3rd. So the Cubs, no runs, no hits, no errors. The Mets, no runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Randy Hundley, followed by Don Kessinger and Bill Hands. Hundley hitting .247, 6 doubles, a homer, 9 runs batted in. Degrom has struck out 3 Cubs to the first 2 innings. Degrom looks in from the windup. Grody puts down the sign. Here's the pitch to Hundley. And that had a ground ball to 3rd. Charles got it, goes to 1st, and there is 1 out here in the 3rd. Here's Don Kessinger hitting .210, double, a triple, and 6 runs batted in. Grody puts down the sign. DeGrom looks in, nods. Here's the pitch to Kessinger. And that's a strikeout for DeGrom. That's 4 through 2 2/3. And now here is Bill Hands. Oh, .61 on the season. Talking about a guy lost the headlights. Hands smiles at DeGrom. DeGrom knows he's got him where he wants him. Here's the pitch from Jacob to Hands. Struck him out looking, and Hands just drops the bat. So Jacob Degrom strikes out 5 through 2 1/3. No score. Here at Shea, as Bill Hands is going to have to do his job. Keep it close, as it looks like Jacob is on his A game. So now we come back. It's going to be Ken, Boswell, Jones, and Charles. Boswell 1 for 1. Singled his first time up. Hundley goes out and talks to him a little bit, comes back and adjusts the gear, puts him down, gets upset behind the plate, puts down the sign. Hands looks in. Here's the windup from Bill Hands. And that's going to be a ground ball to first. He's got it, rushes to the bag, and there's one away. Here's Cleon Jones, 1 for 1. Has one of the Mets 3 hits today. The Mets had the bases loaded in the first, and come up with anything. Hundley sets in the target. Hands looks in. The wind up the pitch to Cleon Jones. And Cleon Jones hits a line drive up the gap over Phillips' head. Jones will go for 2. Phillips gets it back in the Kessinger, and Jones has to hold. So a 1-out double for Cleon Jones. So now here's Ed Charles and his hot bat so far. A .395 hitter. He has 8 extra base hits and 5 of them being home runs. Hundley sets in the target. Hands from the stretch. Runner on second. 1 out. Pitch to Charles. And that's going to be a base hit for Charles. Jones will come around third. He scores. And the Mets take a 1-0 lead. Ed Charles does the job again. And the Mets lead it by 1. So here's Ron Swoboda. 0 for 1. Struck out his first time up. Mets finally break through. Hundley sets in the target and Hands from the catch. Runner on first, 1 out, pitch to Swoboda. And that's going to be a ground third. This could be 2 for Sano. Oh, no, he cannot make the play. Let's see if it goes through for a base hit or Sano with a force out. It is, no, he does get the fielder's choice. 5-4. So 2 outs here in the third. Here's Jerry Grody. That was a double play ball that was not played well. The Cub defense is a strong defense. 3s in the outfield. A +1, so Williams and Spangler both with, you can say they are yellow light arms, so you want to go on caution, while Phillips is just a little bit on the green light arm at a +1. Sano and Beckert are 1s in the infield. Kessinger's a 2, and Banks is actually a good 3. Hundley is a 1 with a minus arm, so the Cubs defense is probably one of the best defenses here in baseball. Mets lead by 1 here in the 1968 National League replay. 2 outs here in the third. Grody, the batter. Hundley sets in the target. Hands from the stretch. Here's the pitch to Grody. And that's the ground ball to third again. Let's see if Sano comes up with it this time. He's got it and throws him out. And the Mets are done in the third. But they get a run on a couple hits. They leave 1 at the end of 3. 1-0 Mets. Top of the fourth here at Shea Stadium. So Jacob plays around the wrong back. Degrom has struck out 5 through 3. Phillips, the batter, struck out his first time up. Grody down the sign. Degrom looks in. Here's the pitch to Phillips. And that's going to be a strikeout number 6 for Degrom. So he's got 6 through 3 in the third. Here's Spangler. Spangler 0 for 1. Flying out his first time up. Grody puts down the sign. Puts down the numbers for him. Degrom looks in. Here's the windup to Spangler. And that's going to be a ground ball to second. Boswell's got it. Goes to Crane pull, and that's 2 outs in the fourth. So now here's Billy Williams. Oh, this is where it gets tough for Degrom. The middle of this Cub lineup. Billy Williams struck out his first time up. Grody goes out and talks to Degrom. They have built up a fantastic relationship. Seaver and Grody are a good duo team, but boy, Grody has taken DeGrom under his wing. Grody puts down the sign for him. DeGrom looks in. 2 outs here in the 4th. Here's the pitch to Billy Williams, and that is a line drive caught by Boswell and ends the 4th. 3 up, 3 down, go to Cubs in the 4th. Still 1-0 Mets. Kranepool followed by Harrelson and then DeGrom. So Hundley puts down the sign. Bill Hands working in the 4th inning. Here's the pitch to Kranepool. And that's going to be a single to right field for Kranepool. He's 1 for 2. Base hit number 6 for the Mets. So here's Harrelson, 1 for 1. He singled his first time up, thinking Harrelson may drop a bunt down. They usually won't do this, but you got a good hitting pitcher and DeGrom on deck. But I think Harrelson's going to swing away because he ended up becoming a D bunter, and you don't want to do that. So Hundley sets in the target, puts down the fingers now. Hands now working from the stretch. He's kind of been working in the stretch a little bit of this afternoon here. Here's the pitch to Harrelson, and that's going to be a fly ball to center. Phillips is there. Kranepool gets off and comes back to the bag. 1 away, and here's Jacob. Jacob flied out his first time up. Hundley puts down the sign and Hands working from the stretch. Here's the pitch to DeGrom, and that is a fly ball center field. Phillips is there, makes the catch. Kranepool will stay. So 2 outs. Here's AG. He's grounded out and struck out. 2 outs, bottom of the 4th. Mets lead 1-0. Mets out hitting the Cubs by 6. Cubs, Hundley puts down the sign. Hands from the stretch. Run first and 2 out. Pitch to AG. And that's a strikeout looking. So the Mets are down the 4th. No runs, 1 and 1 man left. We go to the top of the 5th. 1-0 Mets. So Jacob Degrom working his 5th inning of work right now. And you got a little bit of a buzz here at Shea Stadium. Got the possible number. 39,000 for this doubleheader. Holy cow, between 2 of baseball's best teams. So here is Banks. Banks followed by Sano and Becker. A strong Cub lineup here. Grody sets in the target. DeGrom looks in. Here's the pitch to Banks. And that's going to be a ground ball to 3rd. Charles got it. Goes to 1st, and there's your first out. So now here's Ron Sano. He struck out his first time up. Grody puts down the sign, goes over the possibilities. DeGrom nods. Wide to Sano. And that's a ground ball to 3rd. Same place. Charles. There's 2 outs in the 5th. So now here's Glenn Becker. Becker 0 for 1. He grounded out first time again. He's one of the Cubs' best hitters this year. Again, a tough man for DeGrom to go against. 2 outs in the 5th. Grody puts down the sign. Gives him again. DeGrom nods. Here's the full windup to Becker. And that's a ball left field. Jones there makes the catch. You better call your neighbors. We got something special going on here in Flushing. 1-0 Mets. We go to the bottom of the 5th inning. Boswell, Jones, Charles, the bat here for the Mets. 1-0. Boswell, Jones, Charles for the Mets here against Bill Hands. Possibly his last inning. We'll see if the Cubs will send Hands up in the 6th. You would think they still would. Hundley puts down the sign. Hands the full wind-up to Boswell. And that's a ground ball to 2nd. Becker's got it. Goes to 1st, and there's 1 away. Here's Cleon Jones, always a tough hitter. Single in the 1st, double in the 3rd. Scored to lead the only run for the Mets so far. Hundley sets in the target. Hand working from the windup. Here's the pitch to Cleon Jones. Catch X. Popped up behind the plate. Hundley gets it. Oh, he gets up behind the bat and throws him out. Throws a strike. Little him find the plate, and Hundley threw him out way. So 2 outs. Here is Ed Charles, 1 for 1, and the only lone RBI so far in this game. Here we go. 2 outs in the 5th. Hundley sets in the target. Hands from the windup. Here's the pitch to Ed Charles. And Ed Charles, base hit Ed Charles. He's 2 for 2. He's been on 3 times with a walk. Here's Ron Swoboda. He struck out and hit into a force play. Runner on first. 2 outs, bottom 5th inning. Hundley puts down the sign. Hands from the stretch here. Runner on first, 2 out. Pitch to Swoboda. And that's a walk, and the Mets have a little bit of an inning going. First and second, 2 outs. And here's the catcher, Grody. Grody comes up. He struck out and ground out. You can see Jacob Degrom on the bench, kind of sitting by himself a little bit. Hundley puts down the sign. Hands, first and second, 2 out, pitch to Grody. And that's a ground out of short. Kessinger the short way to Beckert and ends the 5th. Let's go to the 6th inning. 1-0 Mets as we head to the top of 6th. The 1968 It's the Jacob Degrom what if replay as we go to the 6th inning. It's Degrom controlling his own destiny, as he say, controlling his own narrative. So Jacob comes in this one. Oh my, it's going to be Hundley, Kessinger, and we'll see a pinch hitter possibly for Hands, or will he bat for himself? Hundley, the batter, 0 for 1, ground out his first time up. Degrom dominant through 5. Grody sets in the target. Degrom nods. Here's the pitch to Hundley. Hundley, fly ball to right. Swoboda there makes the catch, and there's one away. Here's Don Kessinger. Kessinger, 1 out in the 6th. Kessinger struck out his first time up. Grody puts down the sign, and Degrom nods. Oh, he's in complete sync with Grody. 1-5, fly ball to right. Swoboda's there, makes the catch, and there's 2 outs in the 6th. Now here's Hands. Does he come up again, or do they pull him back right now? 2 outs in the 6th. Grody puts down the sign. Degrom will pitch to Hands and struck him out. We played 6 innings of play here at Shea Stadium. 1-0 Mets. As the story is Jacob Degrom. So now we go to the bottom of 6, and you can smell something here. I don't mean just the rock. I mean, you can smell something cooking here at Shea Stadium. Oh my goodness. So here's Cranepool, Harrelson, and then you're going to hear a thunderous ovation for Mr. Jacob Degrom. Hundley sets in the target, and Hands looks in. Here's the pitch to Cranepool. And that's going to be a pop to first. Banks there, makes the catch, and there's one away. Here's Bud Harrelson, 1 for 2, singled in, flying out. Hundley puts down the sign. Bill Hands the windup. Here's the pitch to Harrelson. Catch X behind the plate. Hundley should make an easy play out of again. It's out, a little number in front of the plate. Gets up and throws him out the banks for out number 2. Jacob Degrom. As the fans are on their feet in unison, they're giving Jacob a standing ovation here at Shea Stadium. Almost 40,000 as Tom Seaver watches from the dugout as what's happening here. As he's pitching the nightcap of this amazing doubleheader, but it's Jacob Degrom stealing the spotlight in his 4th major league start. Last of the 6th, Mets lead 1-0. Degrom comes in. Hundley puts down the sign. Hands gets it. Here's the pitch to Degrom. And he struck him out. We played 6. Let's go to the 7th as its tension is building here at Flushing as it's 1-0 Mets. Holy cow. And I got nobody here watching what could be history made, and I'm just kind of holding my breath. Here is Adolfo Phillips over 2 strikeouts here. Degrom has struck out 7 through 6. Grody puts down the sign. Degrom looks at the pitch. And that's a strike him out. That's number 8 from. Here's Sirens. Here is Art Spangler. 0 for 2. Fly out and ground out. Grody puts down the signs. Degrom looks in with the one. Here's the pitch to Spangler. That's a strikeout, number 8 for Degrom. He's got 9 through 6 2/3. And now the toughest part of the lineup for Jacob. Williams 0 for 2. Struck out in the first and lined out in the 4th. Holy cow, we're going down to this one. Grody again goes out and talks to Degrom, pats him on the back, heads back behind the plate, and sets. Degrom looks in, nods. Here's the pitch to Billy Williams. Got him on strikes. Holy cow. Another inning over for Degrom. He strikes out basically the side Degrom has been absolutely filthy. 10 strikeouts for Degrom through 7. So AG, followed by Boswell and Jones, the batter. Holy cow, again, looking for people who just want to talk here. And now here is AG, followed by Boswell and Jones. The Mets out hitting the Cubs by 7. The Mets have 7 hits. Hundley puts down the sign. Hands looks in. Here's the pitch to AG. And that's a line drive at Sano, 1 away. Here's Ken Boswell, 1 for 3. So Hundley puts down the sign. Hands, who has pitched in a great game, only given 1 run on 7 hits. Here's the pitch to Boswell. And that's a base hit right field. Base hit number 8 from the Mets. Here's Cleon Jones, 2 for 3, a single and a double. And he grounded out in the 5th. Hundley puts down the sign. Hands working from the stretch. Runner on first, 1 out. Pitch to Jones. And that's a double play ball. Ketchinger, Beckett, Banks, double play. And now we head to the 8th, and the fans on their feet are in the bar here. They're taking photographs, or in this case, it probably would be Polaroids out here or quick snapshots. There are no digital cameras in 1968, but they're taking what they can. There's no cell phones. They're taking what they can of young Jacob Degrom pitching here in the 8th inning. Banks, Santo, and Beckert to bat here in the 8th. Grody puts down the sign. Degrom looks in. It's going to be Banks, Sano, Becker, like we said. Right against Jacob. Here's the pitch. And that's going to be strike. Looking. Holy cow, 11 for Jacob. Through 7 1/3. Ron Sano, the batter, has struck out and ground out. Degrom takes a deep breath. Grody says, come on, calm down. He steps up for a minute. The umpire, come on, let's go. Grody puts down, gets back in position, puts down the sign. Degrom looks in. Here's the pitch to Sano. And a ground ball at third. Trustles up, throws the creeper, got him. 2 outs in the 8th. And now here's a second baseman, Becker. 0 for 2 in the ball game. Ground out, flied out. 2 outs here in the 8th. Holy cow. Grody puts down the sign. Rays. Points to Degrom. Degrom nods. 11 strikeouts through 7 2/3 for Degrom. Pick the Becker. Strike him out. That's 12. Holy cow. Degrom will have to pitch the 9th inning under fatigue rules. So holy Clayton Kershaw going into the 9th inning. So now here's Charles, 2 for 2. He's walked, singled, and single. Bottom of the 8th. Of what's happening is just amazing. Mets amazing. Charles, 2 for 2. Hundley puts down the sign. Hands with the windup pitch to Charles. Ground ball to third. Sano throws at the first, 1 away here in the 8th. So here's Swoboda. Boy, Jacob Degrom is a man by himself. Not even Jerry Grody sitting beside him in the dugout. He's all the way over on the left-hand side of the dugout. He is just by himself. You can see his head is inside his legs. He looks like a man, unbelievable. He looked stressed, if not totally in the moment here. His 4th major league start here for the Mets in 1968. Bottom of the 8th. 1 out. Here is Ron Swoboda. 0 for 2 with a walk. Hundley sets the target. Hands looks in. Here's the pitch to Swoboda. And that's a fly ball right field. Spangler with the catch, and there is 2 outs. Here is Grody. 2 outs in the 8th for Grody. This is just amazing. Hitting .264, homer, 3 ribbies. Grody taking his time, maybe giving Jacob a second. I think Jacob just wants to get the hell out there. Hundley puts down the target. Hands looks in from the windup. Here's the pitch to Grody. And that's a deep drive to right field. That's a ballpark single. Grody was not powered up. So Grody with a big single with 2 outs. And here's easy Ed Kranepool. 1 for 3, singled in the 4th. Hundley puts down the signs. Hands looking in from the stretch. Hands is going to make this a complete game effort, go 9 innings and 8 innings. But the story's that young man sitting on the bench named Jacob Degrom. Hands looks in, pitch to Cranepole, and that is going to be a line drive deep to right field. Back goes Phillips, gone! Cranepole has just given the Mets a 3-0 lead. A 2-run homer for Cranepole. And for Cranepole, a big home run. Cranepole's greeted by Harrelson when DeGrom has to come on the on-deck circle. This is probably not what they wanted for DeGrom to do right now at this point of the game. Cubs could easily intentionally walk Harrelson and force DeGrom up there. Make DeGrom think about other things besides what's happening. History is in DeGrom's grips. Here we go into the bottom of the 8th. Hundley sets in the target. Hands looks in. Here's the pitch to Harrelson. And that's a strikeout and will go to the top of the 9th. The New York Mets, 3 runs on 10 hits. The Chicago Cubs are coming back in the 9th, I'll say. Top of the 9th inning. And here we go. Hundley, the bat followed by Kessinger, and you would think a pinch hitter for Bill Hands in the 9th. Here's Hundley. Grounded out, flied out. Grody puts down the sign. DeGrom looks in. You can tell he is a little bit gassed right now. Right now, we've been talking this on a full side notes of just as a game. So to let you know, he is fatigued. So he's only a 6-inning starter. He can go 2 beyond that. But the 3rd inning, you are considered tired. So now 5, 7, and 6 now become strikeouts turned to hits. So that is now a possibility for Jacob to give up hits on his own card without the aid of a hit. So again, DeGrom has that to worry about. Grody puts down the sign. DeGrom looks in. Here's the wind up to Hundley. And that is a fly ball left field. Jones is there. 1 out. 2 outs away. Here's Don Kessinger. 205 hitter. Strikeout and flied out in the ball game. Kessinger 0-for-2. Grody puts down the signs. Grody points at him, says, I don't need to come out. Just get the job done. He struck out 12 through 8 1/3. DeGrom to Kessinger. Kessinger, 83 at bat, the triple C's. Here's the pitch to Kessinger. Struck it out. That's 13 for DeGrom through 8 2/3. And now we're going to get a pinch hitter for Hands. The Cubs are down to their last out. DeGrom is down to his last out. Who will try to break history? Willie Smith will come in, and he is a lights-out hitter against right-handed pitching. He is so far hitting .333, 3 doubles, a triple, 3 RBIs. So DeGrom looking in. History on the side of Jacob. Holy cow, I got in my God, ladies and gentlemen, I'm doing my best not saying a word, but we cannot mention this. I am a professional announcer, and this is where he's going to give up his head. Jacob Degrom has retired the first 26 Cubs in a row. We come to the last out here in the 9th. Willie Smith pinching Bill Hands. DeGrom has struck out 13 8 2/3. Grody sets in the target. DeGrom looks in, gets the sign. He is tired. So now he's pitching on the left side of the card where there is some power. And he also gives up hits down the fatigue spots. 6-6. And also, where is the other one? At least 2 on here. And 5-7. So really good rolls on the card. DeGrom's kind of have to dodge a couple spots. 2-2 offering. Grody puts down the sign for him. He gives him what he's been giving him all day long. That's been filth. 13 strikeouts for DeGrom. 2 outs in the 9th. 26 up, 26 down. 5:56 Mountain Standard Time on April 16th, 2022. This is under the simulation, and on the actual season, I believe this is May 2nd, 1968. DeGrom looks in. The pitch to Smith and base hit. Base hit. Willie Smith 26 down for DeGrom. He gives him a base hit with 2 outs in the 9th. Oh my gosh, and the fans are on their feet. DeGrom, that long inning by the Mets in the 8th inning, you kind of figured that might have been it. DeGrom walks away right now, and now they have to worry about winning this game. Gil Hodges now has to worry about DeGrom. Here's Phillips. If he gets on here, you're going to see a Met closer come in and probably pitch to Spangler at this point, probably a lefty. So now here's Phillips. So Smith gets the lone hit against him, the lone base runner. 26 up, 26 down, retired by DeGrom. Grody puts down the sign. Now DeGrom has to regroup himself as that's almost a 40,000 here just gave him an absolute thunderous standing ovation. What can Seaver do in the nightcap on the second game of this doubleheader? Again, that'll be either be an upload or again another day. DeGrom looks in from the stretch. Runner on first for the first time today and 2 outs. Here's the pitch to Phillips. And that is the ground ball to first. Crane pull, 40-10. He's got it, I think. Oh, he bobbled it. And Crane pull cannot make the play. Does it go through, though? It does. Oh, it's a single and an error. And DeGrom just walks off the mound, and that's a base hit, too. Oh, and Crane pull did too much with it. Threw over DeGrom's head, who was covering, and Phillips took second. So here comes Gil Hodges, and he's going to ask for the ball. And that's going to be all for DeGrom, and he's going to get an absolutely thunderous ovation here by performance by Mr. DeGrom. Holy cow. You can't say I'm not playing all these games on my sleeve, folks. I play to win. I play the whole shebang here. So we're going to go with guys had 3 saves during the season. Al Jackson. Why? He's a 3L, 3.68 ERA, had 3 saves. So he's gonna go against Al Spangler. You might see Jim Hickman here, who is really a pitcher who hits lefties. We'll see if the Cubs tangle back here. Wow, what an amazing ending we have here. And unfortunately, DeGrom could not close the deal. So DeGrom comes off the mound, and he is greeted by his Met teammates, including Seaver. So here is Spangler, second and third, 2 outs in the 9th. Cubs bring the tying runners to the plate to absolutely really ruin this day for Jacob. Spangler 0 for 3. Al Jackson, let's see if they ended up pinch hitting for Spangler here. Grody sets in the target, Jackson from the stretch, and they will bat for him. And it will be Jim Hickman, who has tremendous power versus lefties. He is the anti of what Spangler is. Hickman, a former Met on those bad teams. 435 hitter, 23 at-bats, a double, triple, homer, 5 RBIs. So now Al Jackson's got a huge problem here. He probably wants to keep it on his card. There's the tying home run sitting on there, and for the Mets, they do not want to see that. Grody puts down the sign, and makes sure Jackson got it all. Jackson nods. Left-handed pitcher working from the side rubber. Here's the pitch to Hickman. And he saves shortstop house. If he makes the play, he saves it for DeGrom. Gets it. Jacob Degrom gets the win, and he comes out. He's the first person to hug Al Jackson, saying, "Thank you very much for saving it," as Jacob Degrom has pitched one of the most amazing games in my Stratomatic history. Oh my gosh, I've had a couple no-hitters, but never a perfecto. DeGrom wins it, goes 4-0, 8 2/3, 2 hits, including the hit to Willie Smith. Oh my God, he allowed nothing through 2 outs in the 9th inning. And then came Willie Smith, who had a base hit on his card, and then the next hitter came up for the Cubs, and that was Adolfo Phillips, and he had a single and an error on his card. That brought runners at second, third. That brought Gil Hodges out. He brought in Al Jackson to get a save, who pitched to Jim Hickman, who came in. So let's look at the final numbers. Degrom, 8 2/3, will be the guest of Ralph as Kiner's corner. No doubt about that. 2 hits, 13 strikeouts, 2.05 ERA. Al Jackson, his first save, goes a third, does what he needed. Bill Hand, give him a pat on his back. 8 innings, 10 hits, 3 runs, 3 earned, 2 walks, 6 strikeouts. Gave up a huge home run at the end of this game to Eddie Kranepool. That kind of sealed it. But to me, I could have I could have given up a huge problem for Jacob, as it gave him more time to think. It made Jacob grab a bat and go on the on-deck circle. So a Mets, 2-run 8th inning, to me, may have cost Jacob his perfect game by making him think about hitting and lost some concentration. Again, Degrom went in the 9th inning as a pitcher fatigue, as he went to 6 plus the 2 inning, but that did not come to fruition, as Willie Smith had a base hit on his own card. Again, the Mets scored a run in the 3rd, a big 2 runs in the 8th to kind of give them the insurance. The Mets, 3 runs, 10 hits, and 1 error. The Cubs, no runs on 2 hits. The Cubs' only hits were by Smith and Phillips. The Mets hits in the game, 2 by Boswell, 2 by Jones, 2 by Charles, 2 by Kranepool, including a home run, and 1 by Harrelson. The Mets were 10 for 33, 3 runs scored, 3 RBIs, and the Mets win the game. Put it in the books. They win it 3-0. 3 runs, 10 hits, 1 error. The Cubs, no runs, 2 hits, and no errors. Well, folks, thank you so much. I so appreciate it. I'm not getting rid of that off my screen. I'm going to have to save that for sure. So thank you. Tom Seaver takes on Ken Holtzman. That's the nightcap. You'll see that as an upload, or you'll see that another day next time I play with the Met Replay. Probably will do it soon after that, because I really want to know how Tom Seaver can match his buddy Jacob Degrom after what he just did of 8 2/3 of perfect baseball. Thank you, folks. Have a good night. I hope people watch this game and watch it like I did and was on the edge of my seat the entire game. Mets win 3-0. Degrom goes 26 up, 26 down before giving up the first hit. Have a good night, everybody.